Hi, Scott Machine Gun Dad. Welcome back to my channel. If you saw the header on this, 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, I didn't even know this pistol existed. I was on a local auction site, and I saw a bunch of World War II stuff that A, I already had, or B, I couldn't afford. And there was this Astra 300 pistol. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, but it's Spanish, and I have an Astra. And then I read the disclaimer below it, and they said, oh, this was a German contract pistol. So, I looked at the pictures, and there isn't any Waffen mark on this. And I'm like, well, that's not a German contract pistol. So I did the research, and yes, it is. Apparently, these pistols were made in batches, and the batch that was delivered in spring of '44 in '32 don't have any Waffen marks. So let's move in close, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. We moved in on the Spanish pistol. We're going to use my fingers this time instead of a stand because the pistol's so small. So here's your writing and serial numbers. Upper matches the lower. It's hard to see, but in here it says 765. I'm going to roll it over. You're going to see the Astra marking, the emblem on the barrel, or the front extension of the slide, and the name of the company here. What's also good about up close is you'll see how diminutive the sights are. Even though they're right on, in a fast shooting situation, you would just point this gun because they're really hard to pick up. And then the last thing, I'm going to flip it around. Here's your Spanish proof marks. And as you can see, I'll move my hand out of the way, there are no German marks on this gun, even though it's a German contract gun. Let's move back out. You just saw it up close. Kind of a neat little pistol, huh? I think it's a little neat. Let's see if it shoots neat. I hit every one, didn't I?
Yeah.
Hey, you just saw it out on the range. We went all out, 7 rounds apiece. Why? I have one magazine, and it was maybe 6 or 8 inches of snow on the ground.
Yeah.
And I really didn't want to risk dropping my one magazine into the snow. And 32, it's kind of expensive, but what did you think, Nick?
It's a fascinating thing to look at because it already looks a little different than most handguns.
It looks Spanish.
Yeah, they do things differently around there. Just a couple of the weirdness I've seen about is the sights. It's almost like emergency backup sights, or almost like a shotgun rib. It's very bare bones, but they hit pretty good. I think you hit every round except maybe one.
I hit every one.
Every round. I threw it a little bit because I was trying to rush the shot, see how well it could shoot while firing faster. The magazine release, I despise magazine releases that are on the bottom of the grip. However, this one is really good because you push it in and it pops out, and it also, on the side of the magazine, gives you a tab to grab onto. Now that tab has its own issues because I didn't realize that the tab stuck out of the side of the grip frame a little bit.
So the meat of your fingers.
And I ended up pinching the bottom of my hand. Seeing like there's a little knurled nut on the top
That's how
end
it
of
comes
it.
apart. That's for field stripping.
Just looking at the gun, it's fascinating. It's not something you see very often, and it's
Would you think that would never dawn on me to be a Nazi pistol?
Nope. It doesn't even have the markings on it, so you wouldn't even think about it unless you looked up the serial number, as you were saying.
Yeah.
So it's a fascinating little piece. Pleasure to be brought out to shoot it.
The Astra, I did a video on the 9mm Largo. I think it's the Astra 400, which is like this big. It's the same basic design, but it's about that big. Kick, slick, and mule. This is a complete pleasure to shoot. Nick is right. The sights are hard to see, but if you can find them, the bullets go where they're supposed to. I really like, of all the bottom mag releases, I think this is the best one. And the mere fact that I learned something that I didn't know these were Nazi pistols. that was kind of like, that was like really a good experience for me to sit down and read something that you didn't know. And then you look at the serial number range and it's like 611,000 and something. It's like, well, damn it, that is one of the Nazi pistols that was delivered in 44. So I got a cool piece of history for about 600 bucks that I didn't even know existed 3.5 weeks ago. It shoots really nice. I may try to find a magazine for it, but magazines are pretty, I'm sure, are going to be expensive. Oh, and there's one other thing. There's, as you saw up close, there's no import marks. So this is probably somebody brought this back in their duffel bag after the war. What a piece of history. I want to thank you for coming to the channel. All I can tell you is if you ever get a chance to shoot this old stuff, the World War II stuff, that isn't readily floating around. I mean, there's 8 Mauser HSCs and Walther PPKs that were made after the war, so you don't actually have to shoot a wartime version. But something like this, they stopped making in 46. You might want to see if you can shoot a piece of history. Thanks for coming to the channel. If you have any questions, I try to answer them. Please like, subscribe, comment, follow us on Rumble, and all that. I forget what else. Is that it?
Like, subscribe, follow us on Rumble.
Yeah, I think I covered it. Thanks again. We'll see you soon.